For decades, Bruce Springsteen has been the voice of the working man, pouring raw emotion into his music. But behind the scenes, his own life was unraveling in ways even his most powerful lyrics couldn't capture. Now, after years of silence, the boss is finally addressing the affair that tore his marriage apart. Now, in a rare and candid revelation, he's opening up about the choices that led to the breakdown of his relationship with Julianne Phillips. What really happened behind closed doors? How did it impact his music and future? The truth is more complex than anyone imagined. Stay with us as we uncover the untold story of love and betrayal. The fairy tale romance of Bruce Springsteen and Julianne Phillips. Bruce Springsteen was one of the biggest rock stars in the world when he met Julianne Phillips in the early 1980s. Fresh off the success of Born in the USA, he was selling out stadiums and living the dream. Julianne, a beautiful actress and model, was just starting to make a name for herself in Hollywood. Their relationship seemed like a fairy tale, at least from the outside. Bruce and Julianne met in 1984, introduced by mutual friends. She was young, glamorous, and came from a wealthy background, quite different from Bruce's blue-collar roots in New Jersey. Despite their differences, they were drawn to each other. Julianne brought elegance and Hollywood charm, while Bruce had a rugged, down-to-earth personality. Their romance moved quickly, and in May 1985, they tied the knot in a secret wedding ceremony in Oregon. The media was shocked when the news broke. Bruce had always seemed like the kind of guy who would marry a hometown sweetheart, not a rising Hollywood actress. But for a while, the couple looked happy, and the press was fascinated by their seemingly perfect love story. At first, their marriage seemed like a dream. Julianne often appeared at Bruce's concerts, and the two looked like the perfect celebrity couple. The media portrayed her as the elegant, supportive wife of a rock icon, while Bruce was seen as the devoted husband. But behind the scenes, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Bruce was constantly on the road, touring non-stop. While Julianne was used to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, she wasn't part of Bruce's world of late-night jam sessions, intense songwriting, and deep emotional struggles. As time went on, cracks in their marriage started to show. Bruce has since admitted that he struggled with emotional intimacy back then. He loved Julianne, but he didn't feel truly connected to her. Julianne, who was more traditional and private, may not have realized just how much Bruce was struggling. He had spent years chasing success, but now that he had it, he wasn't sure how to balance it with personal happiness. Things got worse as Bruce started to feel trapped in a marriage that didn't feel right. Around this time, he grew closer to Patty Scialfa, a backup singer in his E Street band. By 1988, Bruce and Julianne's marriage was in serious trouble. The Tunnel of Love album, which had many songs about love and heartbreak, hinted at his inner struggles. During the tour, rumors swirled about Bruce and Patty's growing closeness, and soon after, photos of them together confirmed the affair. Bruce and Julianne separated in 1988, and their divorce was finalized in 1989. Unlike many high-profile breakups, Julianne never spoke publicly about their failed marriage or the affair. She simply walked away and focused on her own life. Potential infidelities revealed in One Step Up. Bruce Springsteen has always been known for writing deeply personal songs, and One Step Up, released in 1988 on his Tunnel of Love album, is no exception. Many fans and critics believe this song was Bruce's way of admitting to problems in his own marriage to Julianne Phillips, including possible infidelities. The song tells the story of a failing relationship, full of regret, distance, and emotional disconnection. At the time, Bruce's marriage to Julianne was falling apart, and he had begun growing closer to Patty Scialfa, a backup singer in his E Street band. While Bruce has never directly said the song was about his own affair, the lyrics paint a picture of a man struggling with his commitment and feeling lost in love. One Step Up is full of emotional weight, describing a man who feels stuck, like he's trying to move forward but keeps falling back. One of the most revealing lines is, "Bird on a wire outside my motel room, but he ain't singing." Some interpret this as a reference to loneliness and guilt while being on the road. possibly hinting at affairs while touring. Another key line is, "It's the same thing night on night. Who's wrong, baby? Who's right?" This suggests a relationship filled with arguments and emotional exhaustion, much like what was reportedly happening in Bruce's marriage at the time. Then comes the most telling line, "I'm caught moving one step up and two steps back." Many see this as a confession. He wants to be a better partner, but he keeps making mistakes, unable to stay faithful or fully commit. While One Step Up is a fictional story, it's hard to ignore how closely it reflected Bruce's real life in 1988. His marriage to Julianne Phillips had become distant, and his connection with Patti Scialfa was growing stronger. The Tunnel of Love album as a whole was deeply introspective, exploring themes of love, heartbreak, and self-doubt. Soon after the album's release, the rumors became reality. Bruce and Julianne separated, and he was seen publicly with Patti. Fans couldn't help but wonder if One Step Up was Bruce's way of admitting what had been happening behind closed doors. When the song was released, many fans immediately connected it to Bruce's personal life. Some saw it as a confession, while others believed it was just another brilliant story-driven song. Some fans felt disappointed, as they had seen Bruce as a loyal, working-class hero who was different from other rock stars. Others believed that his marriage to Julianne had never been the right fit, and that his relationship with Patti was meant to be. Regardless of how people interpreted it, One Step Up remains one of Bruce's most hauntingly honest songs. It captures the pain of a man caught between love and mistakes, desperately trying to figure out where he belongs. Years later, Bruce opened up about his struggles with relationships and emotional commitment during that time in his life. He admitted to having a hard time staying connected and facing his own personal demons. While he never outright confirmed that One Step Up was about his own affair, it's hard to ignore the parallels between the lyrics and his life at the time. How Phillips discovered the affair. Julianne Phillips' marriage to Bruce Springsteen may have seemed like a fairy tale from the outside, but behind closed doors, things were falling apart. By the late 1980s, Bruce was growing emotionally distant, and Julianne could feel the shift. What she didn't expect, however, was that her husband had developed feelings for someone else, Patti Scialfa, a backup singer in his E Street band. Bruce and Julianne had married in 1985, but their relationship was never as strong as it appeared. Bruce later admitted that he struggled with emotional intimacy, and as his music career demanded more of his time, the distance between them grew. Julianne, who was busy with her own acting career, wasn't always on the road with Bruce. She trusted him, but as time went on, she started noticing small changes. Late-night phone calls, longer stays away from home, and an emotional disconnect that she couldn't quite explain. Then came the Tunnel of Love tour in 1988. This was when things really began to unravel. While Julianne spent time in Los Angeles focusing on her career, Bruce was touring across the country. Fans and insiders started noticing something unusual. His interactions with Patti Scialfa seemed more than just professional. On stage, Bruce and Patti had an undeniable chemistry. Their performances were intense and emotional, and the way they looked at each other raised eyebrows. People close to the band started whispering about how much time they were spending together off stage as well. Julianne began hearing these rumors too, but at first she brushed them off. After all, Bruce was a performer. His job was to connect with his audience, including his bandmates. But as the whispers turned into headlines, it became harder to ignore. The moment Julianne knew for sure that something was wrong came when paparazzi photos surfaced. Bruce and Patti had been spotted together in intimate moments, walking closely, sharing quiet conversations, and looking like more than just friends. These photos were published in tabloids, and Julianne saw them along with the rest of the world. It was undeniable proof that her husband was having an affair. According to sources, Julianne was devastated. She had already felt the emotional distance, but seeing the physical evidence made it real. She reportedly confronted Bruce about it, and while he didn't deny his feelings for Patti, it was clear their marriage was beyond saving. Unlike many high-profile breakups, Julianne didn't make a public spectacle of the situation. She didn't give interviews or seek revenge, she simply walked away. Shortly after the photos were released, she and Bruce separated. Bruce Springsteen's affair with Patti Scialfa. Bruce Springsteen and Patti Scialfa's relationship didn't begin in the most traditional way. What started as a close friendship between bandmates turned into a romance that shook up Bruce's marriage, made headlines, and divided fans. But despite the controversy, their love has stood the test of time. Patti Scialfa joined the E Street Band in 1984, just in time for Bruce's massive Born in the USA tour. She was a talented musician with a fiery personality, and she fit right in with the band. Bruce and Patti shared a natural chemistry, but at the time, Bruce was already in a relationship with actress Julianne Phillips. In 1985, Bruce and Julianne got married, and from the outside, their relationship seemed perfect. But behind the scenes, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Bruce later admitted that he struggled with emotional intimacy and didn't feel completely connected in the marriage. By 1988, Bruce's marriage to Julianne was falling apart. The Tunnel of Love album, filled with songs about love and doubt, hinted at his personal struggles. Meanwhile, he was spending more time with Patti on tour, and their connection was becoming impossible to ignore. On stage, their chemistry was unmatched. They performed love songs together, often standing close and sharing intense eye contact. Fans and journalists began to notice something was different. The rumors started swirling. Was Bruce having an affair with Patti? Soon those whispers turned into proof. Paparazzi caught Bruce and Patti together off stage, sharing intimate moments that made it clear their relationship had crossed the line from friendship to romance. The photos were splashed across tabloids and the media went crazy. When the affair became public, it was a shock to many fans. Bruce had always been seen as a man of integrity, someone who was different from other rock stars who fell into the usual traps of fame. Now he was caught in a love triangle. Despite the scandal, Bruce and Patti's love proved to be real. They didn't hide their relationship for long, and after his divorce, they continued to be seen together openly. Their romance wasn't just a fling, it was something deeper. In 1991, Bruce and Patti got married in a small private ceremony. Shortly after, they started a family, welcoming their first child in 1990, followed by 2 more in the years that followed. Through the years, Patti has remained by Bruce's side not just as his wife but also as his bandmate. She has continued to perform with the E Street Band, proving that their connection was built on both love and music. The media frenzy and the public backlash. The rumors exploded into a full-blown scandal when paparazzi caught them together off stage. Photos of Bruce and Patti looking affectionate surfaced in tabloids, leaving no doubt that something was going on. Newspapers and magazines ran headlines questioning Bruce's character. Some called him a hypocrite, pointing out how his music often told stories of loyalty, hard work, and family values. Others saw it as another case of a rock star falling for someone new and leaving his wife behind. The fact that Julianne Phillips had been a glamorous Hollywood actress only added to the drama. People were fascinated by the contrast between her and Patti, a down-to-earth musician with a fiery personality. The scandal didn't just divide the media, it also split Bruce's fans. Some were disappointed, feeling betrayed by a man they had idolized. They had seen him as different from other rock stars, someone who stayed true to his roots. Now they weren't so sure. Others, however, believed that the affair was inevitable. Many fans had always thought Julianne and Bruce were mismatched. She was young, polished, and came from a wealthy background, while he was rough around the edges and deeply tied to his working-class upbringing. Patti, on the other hand, had always been part of Bruce's world. To these fans, it seemed like he had simply found his true soulmate, even if the way it happened wasn't ideal. While the press and fans debated the affair, Julianne Phillips took a very different approach. She stayed quiet. Unlike many celebrities who go public with their side of the story, she chose not to speak out or give dramatic interviews. Instead, she quietly separated from Bruce and let the divorce play out privately. Her silence only fueled more speculation, Some saw her as a victim, a woman who had been blindsided by her famous husband's betrayal. Others admired her grace and dignity, seeing her refusal to engage with the media as a sign of strength. Either way, it was clear that she wanted nothing to do with the drama. By 1989, Bruce and Julianne's divorce was finalized, and he continued his relationship with Patty, who stood by his side despite the controversy. Though the affair had been a major scandal at the time, it didn't take long for the public to move on. Over time, Bruce and Patty's relationship proved to be lasting and genuine, and fans eventually accepted them as a couple. Still, for those who followed the story as it unfolded, it remains one of the most talked-about moments in Bruce Springsteen's personal life, a reminder that even the most admired stars are human, capable of mistakes, love, and redemption. Bruce finally speaks out. Bruce Springsteen may be one of the greatest rock stars of all time, but that doesn't mean he's always made the right choices in his personal life. For years, Bruce didn't speak much about what happened, but as time passed, he opened up about his struggles, regrets, and the lessons he learned from it all. When Bruce married Julianne in 1985, many people saw them as a perfect couple. She was young, beautiful, and rising in Hollywood, while he was at the peak of his music career. But behind the scenes, Bruce felt disconnected from the marriage almost from the start. He later admitted that he wasn't emotionally mature enough for that kind of commitment. In interviews, he has said that, at the time, he was dealing with deep personal issues, feelings of loneliness, insecurity, and a fear of getting too close to people. Despite his tough, confident image on stage, he struggled with emotional intimacy. Unfortunately, Julianne didn't know just how broken he felt inside, and by the time she realized something was wrong, their relationship was already falling apart. Bruce grew closer to Patty Scialfa. She had been in his band for years and understood his world in a way Julianne didn't. Their chemistry on stage was undeniable, and offstage their friendship turned into something deeper. Looking back, Bruce has admitted that he didn't handle things the right way. He hurt Julianne deeply, and in later years he acknowledged the pain he caused her. He didn't just break her heart, he also let down many fans who had admired him for his honesty and loyalty. Bruce didn't make excuses for what happened. In his autobiography, Born to Run, he reflected on his struggles with relationships and his fear of commitment. He explained that at the time he was still dealing with personal demons and that his affair with Patty wasn't planned. It was something that developed naturally, though in a way that hurt others. Despite the messy way things unfolded, Bruce and Patty's love turned out to be real. They got married in 1991 and built a life together, proving that their connection wasn't just a fling. But even as he found happiness with Patty, Bruce didn't forget the lessons he learned from his failed marriage. He has spoken openly about the importance of communication, self-awareness, and being emotionally available in relationships, things he admits he struggled with in the past. Though Julianne Phillips never publicly spoke about the affair, Bruce has said that he regrets the pain he caused her. Over time, he learned to face his mistakes and grow from them. His music has also reflected these lessons, with songs about love, regret, and redemption appearing throughout his later albums. Moving on, a new love story. Bruce Springsteen and Patty Scialfa's relationship started under complicated and controversial circumstances, but against all odds, they built a love story that has lasted for decades. What began as an affair that shook fans and the media eventually became one of rock and roll's strongest partnerships. By the time Bruce and Patty's romance became public in 1988, it had already caused waves. Bruce was still legally married to Julianne Phillips, and the affair was a huge scandal. Despite the backlash, Bruce and Patty stayed together. Many expected their relationship to fizzle out after the drama settled, but instead their bond grew stronger. Bruce finalized his divorce from Julianne in 1989, and by then he and Patty were already living together. In 1991, 3 years after their relationship went public, Bruce and Patty got married in a quiet, private ceremony. Unlike his first marriage, this one felt natural to him. He later admitted that with Patty, he felt understood in a way he never had before. Shortly after their wedding, they started a family. Their first child, Evan, was born in 1990, followed by Jessica in 1991 and Sam in 1994. Parenthood grounded Bruce in a way that fame never could. His priorities shifted, and he focused more on his family life while still making music. What made Bruce and Patty's relationship work, despite its rocky start, was their shared passion for music and their deep friendship. Patty wasn't just Bruce's wife, she was also his bandmate, his creative partner, and his biggest supporter. She continued to perform with the E Street Band while also raising their children. Bruce has spoken about how Patty helped him through some of his darkest times. In his autobiography, Born to Run, he revealed his struggles with depression and how Patty was always there to pull him back. She encouraged him to seek help and reminded him of the strength of their family. Now, decades later, Bruce and Patty are still going strong. They've weathered the ups and downs of life, including Bruce's mental health battles, the pressures of fame, and the challenges of raising a family while being in the spotlight. Through it all, they have remained partners both in music and in life. Their love story, once filled with controversy, has turned into something inspiring. Many who once criticized their relationship now see it as proof that real love can come in unexpected ways. While Bruce's first marriage ended in heartbreak, his journey with Patty showed that sometimes the right person comes along at the wrong time. But if it's meant to be, it will last. Bruce Springsteen's heartbreak and reflection. Bruce Springsteen has never just been a rock star, he's a storyteller. Through his music, he has shared his deepest struggles, regrets, and moments of joy. His journey through love, heartbreak, and redemption has shaped not only his personal life, but also some of his most powerful songs. From the pain of failed relationships to finding lasting love, Bruce has turned his mistakes into music that resonates with fans around the world. Bruce's Tunnel of Love album, released in 1987, is one of his most personal works. At the time, he was struggling in his marriage to Julianne Phillips, and the songs on the album reflect feelings of doubt, distance, and emotional turmoil. Songs like Brilliant Disguise capture the fear of not truly knowing the person you love. The lyrics, "Is that you, baby, or just a brilliant disguise?" show the uncertainty Bruce felt in his relationship. Another powerful track, One Step Up, tells the story of a man who keeps making mistakes in love, unable to fix what's broken. Many believe this song was Bruce's way of acknowledging his own role in his failing marriage and hinting at his growing feelings for Patty Scialfa. When Bruce's affair with Patty became public, it caused a scandal. Many fans were disappointed, but instead of making excuses, Bruce eventually opened up about his struggles. He admitted that he had a hard time with emotional commitment, and that he wasn't proud of how his first marriage ended. His later music reflects this sense of regret and the lessons he learned. In If I Should Fall Behind, a song released after he married Patty, Bruce sings about the importance of sticking together in love, making it clear that he had grown from his past mistakes. He also explored his personal demons in The Rising and Devils and Dust, both of which reflect on inner struggles and the journey toward redemption. While these songs aren't directly about his love life, they show how Bruce channeled his pain into music, turning his experiences into something meaningful. Despite the rocky start, Bruce and Patty's relationship turned into something lasting. They got married in 1991 and built a family together, proving that love can survive even after a difficult beginning. His later songs reflect a man who has finally found peace. Land of Hope and Dreams and Tougher Than the Rest are both love songs with a sense of wisdom, less about fleeting passion and more about real, enduring love. These songs celebrate the idea that love isn't perfect, but when two people are truly meant to be, they find a way to make it work. Bruce has also spoken openly about how Patty has helped him through his struggles with depression. She has been his rock, supporting him through the highs and lows of both his career and personal life. This deep connection is reflected in his music, which has become more introspective and hopeful over the years. Bruce Springsteen's story is a reminder that love isn't always perfect and people make mistakes. But what truly matters is how we learn from them. His music teaches us that heartbreak and regret are part of life, but they don't have to define us. Through his honesty in songwriting, Bruce has shown that redemption is possible. He turned personal pain into music that speaks to millions, proving that even in our lowest moments, there is always a chance for growth, love, and happiness. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.